sincerely feel like letting him just play. Maybe we'll convey some meaning and inspiration to the listeners, because it's born out of the spirit realm. Remember, I've once said that man is 90% spiritual and 10% physical. That song, I wrote it at the moment that I needed it so badly. This is Open Forum with Mko on Memories 96.5 FM Uyo, and today is a day like no other. We are having a special edition of Open Forum with Citizen Mko. Special in the sense that we had guests built, and I even had a discussion I'm going to bring us later about some guests that are going to come in. But then, the issue we're going to talk about is beginning a series added to the series we'll be running on Stock-Taking Agenda, Setting for an Appointment Without Oil. Why? Because Open Forum is about people, issues, ideas, and solutions. And in a Bible state now, there is a dominant topic, a dominant subject matter. Interestingly, that matter, from when we started seeing records, is 100 and something years. So it's like it's time to end the millennial shame, millennial conflict, and all hands must be on deck. All ideas must come out. That's why I'm so pleased that those who do praise singing, those who do psychophancy, they have not been able to put their mouth in this one, because what am I talking about? The Stock Creek Forest Reserve issue has entered a gear that I don't think anybody had imagined that we could get to that point in time, at this age and time. That is the focal point of our discussion today, and giving you insight into what we're going to do. Remember, my name is Citizen Matthew Kofi Okono. I'm a productivity advocate and practitioner. I'm a reformer, and I am a citizen with extraordinary drive of patriotism. And I am the anchor of this program. This program is independent program sponsored by Open Forum Care for Humanity Foundation. We are an NGO, not for profit. We are non-partisan. We don't have sponsors. We are looking for people to sponsor us. And we are doing this because along the line somebody told us this program cannot survive. On radio station. We are on years after that fellow said that thing to me. And instead of going to fight back, the Spirit told me, but all here would result. Sometimes you get motivated when you are challenged like this. So, food for thought and thought for food for the week says, failure is a constructive feedback that tells you to try a different approach to accomplish what you want. Idowu Kuyenikun. I take that again. Failure is a constructive feedback that tells you to try a different approach to accomplish what you want. Idowu Kuyenikun. Kuyenikun, if you have to calculate directly in Yoruba, means nobody understands. But this one, everybody understands. That if you keep doing the same thing and expect different results, you will end up looking like somebody that needs to be in what we call Yaba left. So we wouldn't do that. We must look for solutions. Just hope NEPA, please, you allow us, or what do you call it, PSCN, allow us. We are having a serious program here, please. If the audio is affected, please just bear with us. We are having here. Now, we will have the humanitarian intervention segment because last week, Monday, we hosted one of our sons in faraway United Arab Emirates that is stranded. I will give us the update. So we're going to take update on Ikono local government, Akwa Ibom state-born Michael Bassi, stranded victim of the United Arab Emirates visa restriction against Nigerians. He cried out for help, and guess what? We've been on that matter for quite some time, and I'll give us updates today. And then we'll also have State of the State. State of the State, we are going to take just excerpts of our maiden press conference that we had 2 days, a few days ago, and I think that was on Tuesday, 7th to be exact. So we are going to give you just high points of that State of the State addressed by Open Forum, and the policy analysis that we could not do last week. We won't even do much this week, but I'll just drop a message so that we can conclude that, and we'll move on to another thing that's having to do with stock taking and agenda setting for an Akwa Ibom without oil, part 65. This is the 65th week we are running on how Akwa Ibom State can make money to be able to spend on development, not just spend, not waste, not on jamborees, not on sustaining some unproductive persons, but to make sure that citizens have the benefit of good governance. So the topic there is the role of creativity in the implementation of government policies and funding of ministries, departments, and agencies. That's MDAs. And then the big one that makes us to not to have a guest today, not because we don't have guests, we have guests lined up, but we have to say, please, let's hold on. We have declared a state of emergency on the Stock Creek. Open Forum has declared a state of emergency on issues concerning Stock Creek. And we are going to do the best, whatever God has deposited in us, and will deposit in the course of this. We are going to exploit. We're going to ask questions. We're going to find answers, and we're going to point the way forward, because His Excellency Governor Moeno is about to make history as the man that solved the Stock Creek issue, or he will become the man that complicated everything about Stock Creek. When the battle started in 1916 in the court, judged in 1918. We'll get to the details, let me leave. So we are looking at the Stock Creek Forest Reserve crisis. Open Forum advocacy for a people and justice-centered solution. The topic is the Stock Creek Forest Reserve crisis. Open Forum advocacy for a people and justice-centered solution. You can't think about preferring solution if you don't know the details. If you don't know the details, you can never try it. Let me see if I can lay hands on one of the quotes we had last week that was quite instructive. He said, that quote said, "Don't become a mere recorder of facts, but try to penetrate the mystery of their origin." Ivan Pavlov. So fitting. I take that again. Don't become a mere recorder of facts, but try to penetrate the mystery of their origin. Ivan Pavlov. We've been seeing press releases, we are seeing statements, we are seeing comments by individuals, we are seeing some persons who may even out of zeal talk anyhow, or like some people say, insult the governor, or you find some aides who talk down on leaders who they may never be able to get close to untying their shoelaces just because their meal comes from there. We don't do that. We go into the mystery. So, beginning today, till God will help us to lay things and let the world know the truth about Stock Creek and be able to judge for yourself. If it's about people, if it's about justice, and what is the solution? This is it. A moment in history. Having said that, last week we had Comrade Daniel Sinakpan, the MD CEO of Brownies Global Incorporated and Emeritus President, National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS. We were supposed to have Comrade Ezekiel Udofia, who Don Peters as his co-president of Niger Delta Peace Movement. We had Mr. Michael Bassi, a stranded victim of United Arab Emirates work permit and resident visa restriction against Nigerians. And the issues we had, the summary is that the two guests, one of them made it, Danielson made it. He was one of those that helped us. When you say us, Igbo People's Congress, I'm part of Igbo People's Congress then, I'm no longer part of it. And Open Forum, because we call for people to be part of the campaign to rescue campaigned for the rescue of our kidnapped corps members, and something happened in Abuja. But God made wonders. I've never heard of rented car in my life. I used to hear of it. Never was a beneficiary. But I was, because something had to be delivered. Danielson was behind it. He ran around, mobilized the protesters that we went to the National Assembly, went to the NYC Secretariat, went to Ministry of Youth, and by the grace of God, the world knew that those children had people. Yes, others were doing things at the background without coming out good enough. But I tell you, Danielson and Ezekiel, God will bless them. And the man that I'll mention his name later that gave Danielson to me is a long story. But the long and short is that he was here and we talked. And he pleaded with His Excellency to give those children automatic employment. We see other kidnapped people, some little children, presidency. So state governor say receive. A judge was kidnapped while I was in Abuja protesting. That judge was rescued. The orderly was killed. I was in Abuja when they sent a picture to me, and some people made comment. The judge was received in government house by His Excellency. Nsido Mendito call members. Not just that. I've said, governor sent a message to me that that's over a year now, and I had to start pleading. Those kidnapped corps members. Ekedo 8, Ekedo actually kidnapped. Monsiki escape. Ya I treat them more. Okay, me money get kidnapped because Kedeke my top, it have me escape. It to be ben. And you get to release. The others will have been killed. So Mbok. Danielson, thank you so very much. And you are listening. Ezekiel, you were supposed to be here today. I had to plead you not to come because of what we're about to do, and this which is what we are going to do. So a lot we did last week. But I won't go into what we did. But I want to give us update because we hosted Professor Hilary Young here about 3 weeks ago, and the issue of Ibom Deep Sea Port, the Science Park, and education roadmap. I want to tell us that, please, I won't be talking about that till further notice because, by the grace of God, it is going to happen. I want to plead those people that know that I do not. I'm always on my program by this time. People should not call my line, please. You're going to disrupt the matter here. So, having said that, let's leave the stories. The only one we are picking from there has to do with the man called Michael Bassi. Michael Bassi is from, let me run to where I can get that information immediately. I want to mention his village. I want to give a little update about him and then allow us to imagine that supposing we were the ones involved, is that how we will have felt? Is that how we will have expected people to treat us? Emmanuel Bassi is from Ikorakpaikpok, Ndia, in the Konologu government area. It was... He's an oil industry expert. Makare came and took him to United Arab Emirates. And along the line, just very briefly, he had a better offer there. He needed to change his visa. So he ordered for the cancellation of his visa, the one he was working with, for another visa in the name of the new company. He wasn't aware because he works offshore. He wasn't aware that Nigeria and Dubai has issues about work permits and residence visa. And he got trapped. Hoping that he'll be able to get through and sort things out, he stayed back until his entire money finished. He was carried to United Arab Emirates with the entire family. His wife, then he has a little child there now, who's a baby, but they slept outside on Thursday because they were to be ejected on Wednesday. And the landlord, just Wednesday, so much trouble, by Thursday, they were ejected. And they had to sleep by a lift, just call it on the streets. And we have made contact to people we should. We talked about the SSA on diaspora matters to His Excellency Governor Bueno. We've reached out. She has never responded to us, but she eventually spoke with Michael Bassi. We've reached out to our acting High Commissioner in India to make contact. Even our brother here, Danielson, while we're on air here, he was able to touch with Abike Dabiri. And then I've been to people I've been to Dr. Odemenana. He linked me up to where we could get better connections. I've spoken with Mfonokun. Mfonokun made contact. I spoke with somebody, I don't know where he's from, whether Edo or Delta. The man himself has been able to even reach out and trying to see what they can do. Eventually, we've been able to reach out to the SA media, to the chairman of the Economic Government area, and he has made some contacts and given contact. I've personally went to see the paramount ruler of Econo. We couldn't meet, and we spoke, and he has made efforts to reach out to a particular person who should be able to reach out to do something, but as we speak, no response. The worst part of it is that the SSA, we have to be very clear here, posted something about somebody either being killed or whatever in some other country, diaspora stuff, and I said, please, let's address that matter. And I put it on that platform. I was forced to bring the issue on the platform. It's a diaspora platform. The kind of conversation on that platform is a display that I have been accused of using radio to raise money. I've been accused of doing analysis of government policy when I don't know anything. Why can't I raise money? Or use money that I raised to do my program to help Basi get a room. A room, they call it whether studio there. Just a room to live with 4 children and a wife while waiting for help from the Akwa State government or from NIDCOM, that is Nigeria Diaspora Commission, to bring him back. He wants to come back, to continue his life here, just to come back. People have written things, and I have assured them it will be documented for posterity. But it's such a shame that people can do what they do. They said he mismanaged his life. So please, I don't know if he is there. I promised him that I was going to let him just give us the update of the situation, because the caretaker finally gave me a house that somebody moved out without the landlord's knowledge, and the landlord has been informed. And today, Monday the 12th, is the deadline to pay the rent of the house that he was given because of the sympathy of the baby. They gave him a house to sleep and to be able to pay by today. Otherwise, he is going to be ejected again. He is going to be ejected from that house if he does not pay. Technical person, I hope you are here. So I'm trying to put a call across so that we can, yeah, he's here. Michael Basi. Hello.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon from here.
Yeah, good afternoon. Oselo, please, I hope the audio is clear.
Very well.
It's okay. We have just 3 minutes to let you tell us the situation of things. I've given a snippet of the effort we have made and certain persons that have contacted you, but no result has come out. What is your current situation? Okay, let's do this. Remove it. Just hold on, please. Hold on. We want to get a better audio. Hello?
Yes, sir. We are still actually waiting for help. We've not received any call or any help. As it is, this is after 2 in the UAE.
After 2 a.m. or 2 p.m.?
Yeah, so we're having less than 3 hours to vacate this place if we fail to pay. I have tried to reach out on my own person. This is this is 2:25 p.m. in the afternoon.
Oh God, 2:25 p.m. Okay. So you have just about 2-3 hours to pay. Otherwise, you are going to be ejected to the street again with your children. Hello? Hello? Basi, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, that is just it, because even the man has reached out to me and I couldn't answer him. I wouldn't say anything because I'm still
How much do you
Yes,
need?
yes, I can hear you, sir.
How much do you need? How much is your rent? Please, I don't have the time. It's like the network's not friendly. Um, he had
Yeah,
forgotten
for this studio now, for I need 1.3.
1.3 million
Yeah,
naira.
I need 1.3 million for this studio now.
Okay, what you call studio is just a room that has a bed space and kitchen and all of
Because of
that.
the exchange rates.
How much is it in the diner? The United Arab Emirates said.
Yes, yes.
How much in that diner? In UAE currency, how much? AED, how much? Well, he is not hearing us, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah, on the exchange rate on dirhams, it will be 3,300 dirhams.
Dirhams. Oh, that's what you call dirhams. Okay.
I can hear you. It's 3,300 dirhams.
The last time you spoke with the SSA to the governor of Akwa Ibom State on diaspora, what did she tell you? What was the last word you heard from the SSA to the governor of Akwa Ibom State on diaspora?
She was not encouraging, but what can I do? She was writing them and said that.
Hello.
Yeah, she was not encouraging. She just said that that there was no law. There was no law to back up me because it was not an issue of visa, and I was shocked because it's an issue of visa that makes me to be stranded.
It's okay.
She was disconnected from the whole scenario. I have to tell the truth.
Absolutely so.
Because I came to this country being flown in by the company of this country. So it's a visa. I have been here for 7 years without anybody hearing my voice. So I couldn't answer her. I responded to her chat, but until today, as we speak,
no, okay.
She did not get back to me.
Let's leave our case. Important thing is that today, thank you very much. Today, we are going to do, between today and tomorrow, we're going to put a letter across to His Excellency directly. We are trying to avoid this, but there's nothing we can do. Thank you so very much. We'll keep in touch. Thank you. That is a brother who is stranded, living on the streets, and they have to look for where they give free food once a while just for the children, including a baby. And that was a millionaire doing his job so well that he was flown to UAE twice by the 2017 oil glut. They returned him to Nigeria. When the oil picked up again, they came back and carried him because he is resourceful. Unfortunately, the visa restrictions caught up with him, and he lost all his savings and has nobody to go to than his people. Unfortunately, some of those that have been contacted who refused to talk. Thank God some of them talked, but there's nothing they are saying that is reasonable. Then others that I put on a platform of diaspora where we have people you feel are exposed. I had to tell one of them that you need more help. Yeah, than even Bassi because of the kind of thing she was saying. People shames us. But you know what? Nobody can define us because we have a dream. We are holding on to our dream and will not fit into any strange mold. That is why we are going straight to this program. We'll do the letter, but God forbid that anything untoward happens to Michael Bassi and his family. God forbid it happens. Some people will never be able to open their mouth because all this abracadabra, believing that everything is politics because they define politics as criminality or deceit or mediocrity being turned to excellence. God forbid that happens. We will keep pushing. We don't give up. After all, we turn waste to wealth. We are doing this because our life was wasted and we said no. We cannot be wasted. We can never be wasted. Now, I want to take 2 minutes or 3 minutes to just speak on this so that I can leave and go to the matter of the day. Talking about the role of creativity in the implementation of the government policies and funding of ministries, departments, and agencies. Now, people have heard. Pastor Moino, I have given it to him. apart from His Excellency Bon Victor Ota, is the only person, the only governor that minds details to be documented, plan, capacity building. No governor in this state has spent so much resources on building capacity for his aides. No governor in Akwa Ibom State has had the number of aides he has. Yes, it may be politically motivated as well, but above all, a build capacity for. What do you do with capacity? We are doing this because we had to develop capacity to survive, to face lion, to face those that feel that, oh, because they have either better crown or belt or title or whatever, their word should be law when they know nothing. You don't have integrity and you want to be respected. So Pastor Moino has built capacity. He has plans. At least those that work with him to be able to see, oh, the blueprint, arrest agenda, and do something. So when he said that he would not release money to anybody that is not creative, it may sound odd. Is there no budget? So if there's budget should be released. First term was like that that was the first year. He said, I cannot release budget for you to go and be doing seminar and just waste the money. Budget, that money is for the people. I clap for Pastor Dr. Umar Basieno. So, just recently he said, if you're not creative, I won't fund your ministry. And people felt bad. I want to say this. It's not enough that there's a plan. But you must be creative enough to be able to impress His Excellency with your memo. What you are able to do even before the money comes. When you have an emergency, I cannot get governor. I send message. I address the matter. He will come and bless you. And that is how I look at the issue of the man in culture and tourism. Who remembers the name of the commissioner that has been awarded as the best commissioner? Dr. who? Dr. Ineti Udofia. Yes, that's the same ministry that they printed Fund Me card for a program within the period of this Christmas village, and it became a scandal on social media. Why should a ministry print Fund Me card looking like school children, what do you call this, houseboat children looking for support? Is how in this government? And the permanent secretary was almost lynched on social media. And the man said it was an agreement. Agreement is agreement. We all agreed. It wasn't my idea alone. But what are you talking about? Yeah, governor was impressed at the outcome of the Christmas unplug. That's a story for another day, because that's not the brand that should be even. We'll come to that. So the governor must have seen that a level of creativity in that commissioner. For us, we had already given Akem John best commissioner, because I went to Ministry of Health. What I saw, there's no place in Nigeria like that. There's no ministry. I don't think there is. And you wonder where a commissioner had the resources to do that. And then he has a master plan. He had a declared state of emergency, and things are happening in the health sector. Yeah, he had their failings. After all, we met, we talked, and it did not end well, because I was opposed to how the issue of Dr. Mfonobong Basi was handled when he was declared wanted. That did not stop. In fact, that was when I declared Akem John best performing commissioner, irrespective of that very messy issue. But what are we talking about? So I want to appeal to those that work with His Excellency. People have their weaknesses. If you accept to work with the man, you must deliver, because he will call you out at any time. Despite that, he does not sack. If to sack those that he should sack, he will have had very fresh hands. So please, I stand with Pastor Moino. Be creative. Open Forum is creative. We are doing this without funding. We are going to do this. And for those that are saying they are being funded, they are scared. So that is it for the stock taking and agenda setting. What would creativity do? It will help to conserve funds. It will help to create new avenues for jobs to be created. It will motivate people to put in their best. And before you know it, waste will be curbed. And whatever funds we have, we'll be able to use it effectively for other purposes. And that is very important, which we must not fail to do. If you fail to do that, that is when you now know that you have a failed administration. And a failed administration doesn't start with the governor, it starts with the aides. Go back it here, for me for no, either for you, you don't money the hotel, need the answer. And me for no. They speak so terrible about the governor behind. Mike, I get your excellency, your excellency, your excellency, your excellency. And maybe on to woman or the one I so say, then you marry on from bomb. So, having said that, thank you. We are coming to Stop Creek issue. And like I said, the Stop Creek issue is going to be in series. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to afford, but I don't care. God is a provider. We are going to run this in series until we are able to give out everything. Next week, by the grace of God, we are going to have a guest. I'm going to bring a professional, an expert, non-partisan. Yeah, he's going to speak professionally, having to do with conservation, that what relates to the Stop Creek. So first things first. The Stop Creek had an issue. We were not there. Our forebears were there. And they went to court in 1916. And being in court in 1916, that case was adjudged in 1918 by the Privy Council. It went to the Supreme Court before going to the Privy Council. And thereafter, it seemed to have rested. And then in 1930, the colonial masters then decided to gazette the place and reserve it as a conservation center, where a reserve where nobody is permitted to touch anything except you harvest palm trees, palm fruits, and then what do you call the other thing? Very little things. We don't even allow you to cut trees there, and that became a reserve. And people want to know, is Stop Creek the only reserve in Akwa Ibom State? That is not so, because there are other reserves, and I want to take one of them that I spoke with an expert, and he forwarded something to me after I had fact-checked online. This is what we got. Online has it that Akwa Ibom State has gazetted forest reserves like Stop Creek reserves, a major biodiversity hotspot, and other protected areas, including community-managed ones such as Oran, Ikoroku, Okobo, Nongudum, and Odo 2. Alongside reserves like there's one is called Okwichu Forest Reserve, and those in areas like Ibionibum, Uyo, and Etemepo, though many face degradation and need conservation efforts. The key reserves and protected areas. The list is again Stop Creek Forest Reserve, Okoyareket, in bracket, established 1930, known for rich flora and fauna, attracting significant research. Okwichu Forest Reserve, located in illegal government area, designated for preservation. Oran, that's Ikoroku, Okobo, Nungudum, and Okobo. They wrote here Ekoya, maybe that's Ekeya, Okobo. We have in Seletai, that's Odo 2, in Seletai local government area. In Etemepo, we have Ikorinyang, in Etemepo local government area. In Ibionibum, we have Edemurwa and Ikorokop. In Ibiono, Uyo local governments, you have a forest reserve here, Ikorokpanoku in Uyo. Are you hearing that for the first time? The people will have to fact check, because this program is not cast on concrete. We will need to be able to have feedback to know if these things are right, because we are going to attempt to correct certain things that we find on Google when we are through. You write and say this is not the truth case. Then we have Ikorobasi, Ikor and Iman. You have Mkparenin, Awantong. You have Orogonam, Ikorofanga, Nsulubiumukat, Ikorochan, Inika. We have Enwang, Inbo. Then Uyaron, a community protected forest in Urefong, Oruko. The list goes on. Ukanafon, Ibiono, mention areas and all of that. Then, listen to this. This is from an expert. It says here, the reserves in the state created between 1929 and 1930. One, Stop Creek's Forest Reserve covers an area of 310.80 square kilometers and spanning through the locations, and I've already mentioned the other ones. And then it says something that we also need to start giving intro to build up before we start reading things. It says, in summary, okay, let me tell you this. Uwet Odot, it says the distance hasn't been published, but is located in Itu and extends to Cross River State. Then, in summary, a total of about 318.557 square kilometers are under reservation in the state, which represents about 4% of the land area of Akwa Ibom State. That's the total land area that has been reserved, as forest reserved or conserved areas. Then, however, the creation/pragmatic policy of forest reserve should be the most effective way of conserving the natural vegetation and environmental protection cum stabilization. Now, listen to this. In attaining the proposed forest reserve policy for the state, government should approve the constitution of the Uyo Ravine ecosystem into a forest reserve rather than considering any other environmental unfriendly option due to the present fragile nature of the ecosystem. I take that again. This is a very strong advocacy. In attaining the proposed forest reserve policy, before we get to that policy, let me take something about the 4% space that is reserved. The 4% level of forest reservation now reached by Akwa Ibom falls short of the target of 25% originally proposed. That was the proposed area for reserve, 25%. We are just at 4%. And so, for that Uyo Ravine, Uyo Village Road, or wherever that has that kind of topography, it says, in attaining the proposed forest reserve policy for the state government, government should approve the constitution of the Uyo Ravine ecosystem into a forest reserve rather than considering any other environmental unfriendly option due to the present fragile nature of the ecosystem. Having said that, you get to know that a number of things has been going on in Akwa Ibom State that has to do with law. And because laws are not being obeyed, both by citizens and even by governments in certain cases, we now have crisis in our hands. That is why a matter that is said to have been resolved in 1930 is consuming people in 2026, is dividing a people in 2026. And by the grace of God, we are not going to, let me tell us this, please. I had looked forward to having a guest from Ibono local government area on this program today before going to other issues like we are getting into. I personally put a call across to the paramount ruler of Ibono, Effiong Achanga, a man I respect so very much. When we did the water resources bill, he received me in his bedroom for the first time in his life ever seeing me. When he heard what I came to do, he talked with me for 1 hour plus, and then he signed, one of the paramount rulers that signed that communique by open forum. And he's a father, respected. He's a very strong person. And when I called, he picked my call, and I reminded him. He said, "Yes, I recall." And I told him what is happening, that I want to host a representative from Ibno, one person or two persons, to come and talk about their position because of the ongoing development. He was receptive and promised to call back. Unfortunately, I have not been able to get the feedback yet. I've tried to get the feedback. I have not. I'll still try, because we've had EKET people, both the EKET People's Union, the elders, a few Wareket, and some other groups. I have tons of papers here because I printed out some of these things. We're spending money, we don't sleep, do research, and then I just hope Ibno will oblige us to host somebody. In fact, if somebody from Ibno will oblige, will host that person before we bring the consultant. The day I'll bring the specialist here, the professional here, I won't have anybody from the community to be here. We'll talk about this matter and the professional angle. Having said that, we want to follow the trajectory. The forest reserve in 1930 was consequently 3 occasions amended. I'll give us the years later, maybe next week. And the amendment did not in any way take away the right of ownership of people, because land belongs to communities, villages, and the villages belong to a local government, or clans first, and then to local government. So our findings so far has shown that the Stop Creek, apart from the contention that was between Ibno and EKET that was in court, which was not Ibno as a local government then, but villages, 2 villages of Ibno struggling over a land. They said, "This one is my own." And EKET said, "Oh, you have to join, because you don't have to go and start a new case. We are an interested party." And eventually, judgment was given, which the other villages in Ibno lost, from what records we have seen, and then peace seemed to have reigned. But fast forward some years later, where things started to go the other way. But one of the things I want to let us know is that mobile, most of us know mobile, we say mobile Ibno or QIT in Ibno and all of that. But I was shocked in the course of research to discover that before mobile was built, mobile or government had to de-reserve a portion of land, because mobile is situated within the Stop Creek. And in doing that, nobody is permitted to enter a reserve, even government. You don't enter. Yes, land is held in trust for the people by the governor. Even the president cannot come here and take land. He's the governor that you will meet. And when he says yes, he will now say, which portion of land? They will now go to, maybe come to my village in Ibakang, and then meet, say, okay, we need this land. Government needs it. It's okay, you do. They pay compensation. Compensation is always paid to the original owners, which is the people. Now, we must get that. If you don't understand that, you will never understand this conversation. Government does not own land. It's the people that own the land. But government holds it in trust. And when they need it, they come and meet the people and pay compensation and take it just token, and then carry the people along in whatever they are going to do. And what they are to do must always be in overriding public interest, not individual interest. Otherwise, some of these multi-trillionaires, they will have bought off Akwa Ibom, they will have bought off some of their states and even the country. Well, you cannot do that because there are laws. So, when Mobi was to be built, government de-reserved a portion of of the Stop Creek. And in this particular document before me, written by the then Commissioner for Agriculture, because those reserves are under, and conservations are under Agric, Colonel O.P. Esang, retired. Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture, Natural Resources and Rural Development. It is dated 17 February 1998. Payment of compensation to Edo group of villages. Edo group of villages are original landowners at 171.088 hectares of the parcel of Stops Creek Forest Reserved, acquired by the government for expansion of mobile Kwaibu terminal. I won't go to the other details. It was written 17 February 1998. And the payment of compensation, the government of Akwa Ibom State, Office of the Military Administrator, now wrote on March, 9th March, I think still 1998, it's not a bit faint here, payment of compensation to a dog group of villages. I am directed to refer to your letter number this and that of 17 February 1998 on the above subject matter, and to convey to His Excellency's Military Administrator, approval for the payment of the sum is mentioned. And a copy of His Excellency's approval is attached therewith for your guidance. Signed, S.I. Akpadiaga was Permanent Secretary of the Office of the Military Administrator. Why am I bringing this? I am bringing this because government had to de-reserve the portion needed for the expansion. Recall, the first time mobile came, the same thing was done. But in this very second case, I understand that Ibno went to court. There are certain things we will not be able to say on air until we cross-check our facts and have the people speak for themselves. We are not judges. I'm from Senetai local government area. Yes, I'm not from Eket, I'm not from Ibno, I'm not from Eseleket, I'm not from Mbo. And you need to know that from findings, I've spoken to somebody from Mbo. He said Mbo has land in the Stop Creek. I've spoken with somebody from Ibno. He says, yes, Stop Creek belongs to Ibno. I've spoken to people from Eket, and you know, that one is very clear now. Eseleket, I've not spoken to somebody directly, but I know God's own Udoito, whose video stated what is happening now. That fire was set because of a video that people call content, where the traditional rulers had to give an injunction and all of that. So we have a case at hand where you must drop tribal sentiment. You must drop whatsoever you think will make you look subhuman to face justice. We are doing what we are doing in open forum to be voice to the voiceless, and will never be part of anybody that wants to oppress the voiceless or the vulnerable. And because by research we've discovered that every Nigerian is vulnerable. Mr. President is vulnerable. His Excellency, our governor, is vulnerable. Why? If you have people around you who are not thorough, who are not courageous to tell you the truth, that this matter, Your Excellency, this is the truth, it will fail. And they will go and laugh. They will go and say, Napoleon is always right, though. In civil service, you should be seen and not heard. I've seen such terrible things. Or, so, I want to appeal to us. We are setting the tone. I am ready to do everything humanly possible to follow this story. And I'm going to do a book club on radio where we shall read some of the documents, including the ones of 1918, whatever version. There is a fake version, or is it an adulterated version or whatever, I don't know. Or be that as it may, we will try to bring whatever we have to the table, and we'll play the video, video or audio where the governor spoke. We will read press releases, we will read things, and then you'll be able to understand. But to give you a snippet why we need to help leaders is to say that besides Mobile, there is no other company No other presence in the Stop Creek that is legal. Why? Because there has not been a de-reservation of whatever portion that has been given. We've been searching for it. And Kemini Simon did a wonderful documentary. He's spoken with the Attorney General, according to what he said, spoken with the Commissioner for Agriculture, spoken with the Commissioner for Information. None has been able to give a document that shows that some of the projects going on there was a de-reservation. And I have personally made that request to the Attorney General. I've not gotten feedback yet, but we are going to follow because governance is about us, and we must be able to help His Excellency. We don't belong to any political party. Phone call, 1 or 2 will do. You call, except if you call Mko.mp4 United Arab Emirates, 0803 085 7755 or 0809 066 6909. I was to give a rundown of our except. We can next week because mfunaki koro oku kweronam aya embarrass mono will mfunakem parenin ikoro padin having to do with certain things that are not right. Please, next week I'm going to raise it and other issues. We have a caller there. So if there's no call, because like I've told us, I dedicate time. In fact, by next week, we are scale down some of our content so that we can do as much as we can. But whatever be the case, what you need is the truth. What you need is the kind of information and the courage to say it. Yeah, the courage to be able to say it is wanting to know a thing. Is another thing to be able to say it. But now, politically correct. Now, no, dear, because you can know one of them. God forbid. God cannot have us in this society, and it remains the same. So, if you have input, if you have questions you want us to ask, if you have information that will help us to be able to come out and help, because we are pushing whatever we do, we push to the governor. Sometimes we cannot write, but they could. When we see them report, it's all in them. But the time you call them, because we will not shy away from the truth. The number for you to call, if you have input, is 0802 757 7497. I take that again, 0802 757 7497. If you want to support this program so that we can continue, the number to call again is 0802 757 7497. For our brother in Dubai, you can call me on that same number and I'll link you up to him. We are going to send a letter to His Excellency, a man that we have called in open forum compassion personified, Mbok. Michael Bassi. Next week, go deeper. Stop Creek issue. He couldn't where they said, no one will. What's what you're